it's much more of a linear sort of thing. And you right on Revenge, we have some pretty long pieces of music, and then they'll go from the beginning of an act to another act. So it'll be I could write a piece of music 7 or 8 minutes long easily.
Right. I actually read that your first big break was with Robbie Williams of Take That, and I love Take That. Please tell us what that experience was like, and what was it like working with him specifically?
It was great. I was 22 or 23 at the time, and I got to live the dream, basically. I got to, travel around on tour buses and private jets and all the silly stuff you dream about when you're a kid, and do shows to huge audiences. It was great fun. It was really good. It's great to do when you're, in your 20s, and then by the time you get to sort of your mid-30s, it starts to wear you out. If you're still doing it in the same fashion, shall we say?
Right.
So I kind of, I had a great time. I mean, it was really fun, and Rob's a lovely guy, and we're still very good friends.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Since you traveled so much around the world, where's your favorite place to go?
Oh man, it's really, that's another
hard one
question to answer. But I loved traveling around Italy and Spain with him. I loved traveling. I mean, to be honest, I loved traveling around everywhere. We toured a lot in Europe, so Italy, Spain. Spent a lot of time in Germany and Holland and France. It was just fun all the way. Touring Southeast Asia was really fun and really different. Touring Australia was a lot of fun. Aussies know how to have fun, man.
Oh, you've been to a lot more places than I have, and I'm older than my 20s and 30s. Some of them are on my bucket list.
Right. Good bucket list.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what's been the most gratifying thing about your career so far?
That's wow. These are all really tough questions. Narrow it down to one thing. Wow. Most gratifying thing. Well, professionally, I mean, obviously, I'm going to say this. Writing for Revenge really is one of the most fun gigs I've ever had, because getting to write for a live orchestra every week is really not even something that most film composers get to do, and it's just incredibly gratifying to get up on the podium at the end of the week and hear, what you've written being played back at you by such amazing musicians. So that's one of the most fun things. From early on in my career, I think there were a couple of shows that I played with Robbie Williams that were pretty incredible. Like playing in front of 100,000 odd people at Slane Castle was pretty mind-blowing.
Wow, that is a lot of people.
Stick out.
That is amazing. To perform at a castle, that would be, I bet that would be amazing. I would have loved to have seen that.
I believe it's online somewhere. Everybody's whole lives are online now. I'm sure everybody's life is on YouTube. You can just look any of it.
You know it.
Yeah. I'll have to go try to find that then for sure. So far, is there any other movie or other kind of movie that you'd like to score that you haven't scored before?
I've had a pretty wide-ranging. The one thing I've been really lucky with in my career is that I haven't really been stereotyped. I've gotten to score thrillers, comedies, horror movies, all kinds of things. And really, the only thing I look for is just talent in the filmmaker and in the cast and the writing. It all has to start with the writing. The script has to be great. And I've done some films that have been great, some that have been less great, and I think everybody has. But I've been really lucky to score a few great movies. I scored a movie called Natural Selection last year, which I really enjoyed doing. Some very, very talented people involved with that one, and there's a couple of films that I'm about to start working on that I think are very good. I've been very, very, very fortunate in my career.
That's fantastic. I'll definitely have to try to find that movie and watch it sometime very soon.
I would highly recommend it.
I definitely will. What has been your favorite movie or show to score, and why? I guess
the answer to that, don't
you?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's so much fun. I get to do that. Scoring Shameless is fun because it's pretty much the opposite of Revenge. It's it's playing rock music to a picture, which is kind of a weird gig, but a lot of fun, and about as far away from Revenge as you can imagine. But Revenge really is something that I really love doing.
Yes, and you're definitely fantastic with that, and
Thank you.
Everything fits perfectly within that show. And of course, I'm hooked. I've tweeted you plenty of times on Twitter, and I'm definitely hooked on it. I've also read that you love to cook as well. What's your favorite food to cook, and why?
Italian food, straight up. I have no idea why. I have absolutely zero Italian ancestry, but for some reason, there's just the purity in regional Italian cooking is something I absolutely love, and I fight every day not to become a 350-pound version of myself.
With all the pasta.
Yeah.
That's funny because I have a lot of Italian in me. I've got part Italian, part Portuguese, so Italian food is definitely one of my favorite foods. So you might have to share some of your recipes with me.
Maybe. Yeah. That's another show entirely, isn't it?
Right. You could do a cooking show, or you could write a book. I mean, I think people would be buying that rather quickly. Italian's favorite of almost everybody.
Recipes from the studio. I'm not sure that's going to be a great display, but we'll give it a go.
I would buy it. I'm always looking for different recipes.
Excellent.
Definitely.
Now, I also read on your website that you're involved with seminars by BAFTA, which is the British Academy of Film and Television Arts in L.A. What exactly goes on at one of these seminars?
Well, I mean, all of these things, it's often other composers, other filmmakers, or people who want to get into doing that, that basically come along and want to ask you questions about the process and, sometimes very sort of technical aspects of it. And BAFTA support a lot of really incredible filmmakers, so it's a fun thing to be a part of.
Well, and you were nominated for a BAFTA too, so I wanted to congratulate you on that.
I wasn't directly actually, not as a composer. A movie that I scored was nominated for BAFTA. I've been nominated for some other things, but not a BAFTA yet. But one day.
Well, you were still included, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, that was nice. That was definitely nice.
What is your hidden talent?
Nothing I can talk about publicly. Let's just stick with cooking.
Okay.
Oh wow. That's great. So can you explain a little more about the Sundance Film Composers Lab that you attended and what it all entailed? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a program that I'm very passionate about, and it's been running for a long time now, and it's basically, Sundance is obviously an incredible charitable organization, an incredible support network for filmmakers everywhere, really, all around the world. But the Composers Lab is a very special thing because they basically pick 6 up-and-coming composers every year who they feel have a very strong sort of individual voice rather than, somebody who's trying to imitate or just basically knock out imitations in order to get work. And people who are bold sort of new voices out there. And they sort of take them up to Sundance for 3 weeks and put them through the ringer, with
they basically get to work with master composers for 3 weeks, and they're paired up with directors, and they have to score scenes from the movies that they made in the director's lab. So it's all a very it's a real world situation. It's not like going to college or it's not like a college program or anything like that.
Right.
It very much mimics real life in the industry, and I think that's pretty invaluable. It certainly was for me. Plus it opens you up to a lot of contacts in the industry, and Sundance is a name that carries a lot of respect in the film industry.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Definitely. So I was curious what music we would find on your iPod then.
You would find some pretty weird extremes. You would find, at the moment, I've been listening to a lot of weird classical music, and actually a lot of contemporary stuff. A composer you may not have heard of, like Witold Lodosławski, or actually Gorecki's Third Symphony is something I've been listening to a lot lately. But then you'd also trying to think what else. Florence and the Machine, you'd find me listening to.
Oh, I love them.
A.C. Newman and the New Pornographers. Same old stuff, Beatles, and especially since I have a daughter now, I'm doing my very best to ram the Beatles down her throat as much as possible, so she'll probably hate them by the time she's 2. Like I said, some pretty varying extremes.
All different types of genres, and that's how Sabina and I are. We listen to just about everything, so I can understand that. I was wondering, if you weren't a musician, what would you be?
Broke and possibly locked up. Not really sure. I really don't know, and that's there's one way that you know if you're a musician for life, and that is if you genuinely don't know how to do anything else.
Right.
And I'm not sure that I do anything else to any degree of competency, so it's probably good that it's worked out for me.
Yes. Now, if there was a movie made of your life, who would you want to play you?
Jesus. God, I don't know. That would be an especially watchable movie, but God, who? Well, you know what? We could ask Gabriel Mann, actually. I'm sure he'd do a very good job.
Yeah, definitely. I could see that.
Who would play me in a movie? Oh God, I would pity them. It would be a sordid tale.
Yeah. It would be very interesting. I would love to see what he would come up with. Now, if iZLER today could meet 16-year-old iZLER, what advice would you give him?
Jesus. What advice would I give him? Well, considering where I'm at, I'm not sure I would give him any advice, because for all of the cock-ups I made when I was younger, I'm pretty happy with where I've ended up. And what advice would I give him? Jesus. I don't know. Drink more, probably. And do it more discreetly.
Okay. For all of our listeners out there, that's just one piece of advice.
Yeah. Change your toothbrush regularly. I don't know.
Well, I want to thank you so much for spending time with us, especially on Easter. And I wish you only the best and much more success, although I don't know how much more you can have. You're so wonderful at what you do now and recognized in so many different ways. And we will definitely be tweeting with you tonight for Revenge.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely.
Sabina, did you want to say anything? Sabina.
I think we lost Sabina.
Sabina, are you here? Uh-oh. I see her call is up here. I don't know what happened.
Oh,
well,
we lost her.
I'm sure she'd want to say Happy Easter, and she'll be tweeting with you later.
I'm sure. Well, it's been lovely talking to you.
Thank you, and thank you so much again for joining us on a holiday. Have a blessed day.
All right. Thanks a lot.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye-bye. Sabina, did you come back yet?